So currently there are hundreds of thousands of people across the United States of America in good, safe, government-paying jobs, working Uber, working Lyft, DoorDash, trying to make ends meet, calling out of work, and literally using food pantries. I'm here at Harry Reid Airport in Vegas, and today's video, we're going to investigate how the current government shutdown, the current non-funding and non-payment to essential workers is putting an extreme hardship on some of the human cases, and how these casino companies will adapt, and how in the end it could cost you big if things don't get resolved real soon. My name is Steven. This is NLLV. There is hardly anybody in the transportation line, and it's a Friday morning. It should be a busy day. So before we get started, we should draw some clarifications and some lines in the sand. I will have to talk about the current situation in the government. I can't be bought by these casinos. I'll tell you why that is later on. But at the same time, I'm just going to tell it as it is. And I encourage you to have some fun in the comments, but please try to be respectful. Secondly, I'm using this microphone this way today because although I have handles and things and I can film in a federal building like an airport, I'd rather not have any interactions with TSA or airport security today. So with that, what about the excruciating, like tragic. I'm not laughing about it. It's a bad experience that some of these federal workers are going through right now. What do those numbers look like? So in terms of the aviation industry, that's the lifeblood of Vegas, there are 13,000 air traffic controllers nationwide who are currently going to work for free, for $0. Put a zero on the screen right here if I have time. There are also 50,000 plus TSA agents. They're also going to work for $0. Not to mention other people in this industry that have to show up to these airports every day just to make sure that you can get into Vegas and out, and your flights aren't scheduled, and the airlines aren't grounding things, because that's a real possibility. There is precedent for this before, because these companies love to ground flights. We'll tell you about that in a second too. Once you understand that, you can understand what this means for their families. Because while you might be doing well, we've covered on this channel before in our economic updates stats that come from big websites like bankrate.com. Stats that say things like close to 65% of people in the United States can't handle an emergency $1,000 expense for their household, or even a scarier stat that 45% of people couldn't handle a $400 to $500 expense. So the fact is that there is a lot of people who are literally working paycheck to paycheck, and people working for a cushy, safe, in quotation marks, federal job are no different. As I'm recording this video right now, this government shutdown has been going on for 24 days. There's absolutely no end in sight, and if this drags on over time, this is going to not just crush the hopes and dreams of Christmas and holiday and Hanukkah and New Year's for people. It's going to wipe out entire families and possibly have negative impacts on things like defaults on home loans and car payments. Yeah, this has a real downstream effect. So much so that it finally broke in the news what I had been saying before, which is that there's some things that you should never see at an airport happening right here at this airport. Just today, as I woke up and read the local news feed, food pantries are appearing at Harry Reid Airport and airports across the country, because people are desperately trying to find a way to get by right now because of the economy. See, unlike past government shutdowns where the same people right now that are deemed essential that have to come to work for $0 kind of had no other play, we now live in a gig economy in the year 2025, and that means that these people can find instantaneous work so long as their car meets a few qualifications to drive Uber or Lyft or do DoorDash deliveries. We're seeing pilots, air traffic controllers, TSA agents, all sorts of people that work in airports just like this. There's 1,500 of them in Vegas alone at this one airport. We're seeing them find alternate means in order to pay their bills, which is causing big problems for you when you try to travel, not just to Vegas, but to anywhere else. You see, in many cases, these people working at airports, these people working in the aviation industry as a government employee are calling out of work. They're saying they're sick, they're saying that their kid is sick, they're saying that they have a family emergency, and they're doing shifts as gig workers, or they're looking for other employment, or they're working for a friend, or doing side gigs on Facebook Marketplace, because to them it's better to be able to make some money than absolute no money with a promise of a lump sum payment later. Why? Well, sadly, sadly, they fall into that class of people who are living paycheck to paycheck, which is way too many people in this country, by the way. Everybody's living off of credit cards. What are you guys doing about that? That's the question that I have for you. Because I've been telling you guys for a really long time, you guys need to learn a skill. You need to learn something that nobody can take away from you. And for me, that's become trading the markets in the mornings. And I don't try to make $10,000 a week. I don't do that. I just go in and I make 50 bucks here, 100 bucks there. I pay my bills, and within 20 or 30 minutes in most days, I'm done with it. So real talk for you guys real quick here. If you guys could learn that skill, if you guys could potentially go into the markets, maybe make 20 bucks here, possibly 50 to $100 there, pay some bills for yourself, like, would that be life-changing for you? And if the answer is yes, then remember at the beginning of this video, I said I don't take channel sponsors. The casinos can't pay me money to keep me saying the right things for them. Well, that's because I have my own course. It's called 1K a day. And if that sounds like a skill you guys want to learn and you guys want to see if you can potentially change your lives too, then I have a special deal for you. I want you guys to scan the code on the screen right here or go to 1kaday.diy. Type in the code 13 at checkout. You'll be one of only 10 people watching this video who get to own the entire course, lifetime access for the founding members level price of only $199. Look, it's less than the price of a pair of AirPods Pros. And if you guys go through it, you might be like these students of mine who are showing huge results after some of them trying this whole thing for years and never being able to figure it out. So go to 1kaday.diy, code number 13, lucky, unlucky number 13, lucky for you, before I have to raise the price up soon. And because if you guys don't form a skill for yourself, if you don't do something like that, then you might be living paycheck to paycheck before you know it in this economy. And your next vacation to Vegas might be more expensive, because if this whole shutdown just keeps going, that's exactly what will happen. You might be asking me, how is that even possible? Well, here's exactly how it's possible, and it's pretty simple when you really think about it. So every month, 3.7 million people come into Vegas. And of those 3.7 million people, about 2-point-something million of those people go through Harry Reid International Airport. Harry Reid International Airport is, of course, one of the busiest airports in the United States of America when we count just passenger traffic. And if this airport isn't running perfectly fluidly, if this airport is causing problems for people, if this airport is keeping people away because of any little reason, it causes big downstream cascading effects in the local economy. And in an economy like Vegas, where for the past 9 months of 2025, we've seen month over month, year over year decreases in the amount of people coming into town. Any little disturbance to the force, this causes a potential problem for an industry that, as we pointed out in our last video, was originally based on volume, which is the Las Vegas Strip. So if people don't want to come to Vegas, then there's a major problem. But you might be asking yourself, why would people not want to come to Vegas? Well, let me tell you something about consumer habits and corporate profits and how it all ties into a you-know-what show of badness for you if you do love this city and plan on coming in the future. And people hearing online that it is a quote-unquote nightmare to fly, whether that's true or not from national news networks or even social media posts, they may think twice about traveling, which puts Vegas in a very bad spot after the brutal 2025 that we've had so far. And if they think twice about their travel plans, this diminishes the chances that they might actually come into Vegas, a city that greatly and dearly needs their tourism dollars more than ever before in order for the locals who work on the Strip and the 200,000 jobs that survive to thrive and get ahead, finally, after a brutal 2025. But it's a boon for other areas, too. People will stay local. For example, people in the Southeast choose to go to Miami South Beach for their holidays. They take a train, they take a bus, or they drive their car. People in the Northeast opt to go to Connecticut or Massachusetts or even Atlantic City, New Jersey instead of flying to Vegas. There's always options available to somebody, and they don't have to travel far in order to get their entertainment on. But this forms a serious issue for Vegas. This forms a consumer loop, a loop of habits that, once formed, are very hard to break. For every traveler that might have come to Vegas but changes their plans due to the possibility of a hassle for airline travel, Vegas has a major problem. You see, they lose the opportunity to form a lifelong relationship with that person. And once a consumer habit is changed, it is incredibly hard to get them back into the city. People might simply stop coming and might simply form a new bond with a new city, and Vegas loses that money, possibly forever. And in a real bizarre twist, the real winners to a possible slowdown in air traffic over something like this government shutdown is actually the airlines themselves. And that may not make sense until you start thinking like a diabolical airline CEO, that is. See, because airlines don't act reactively, instead they act proactively. And when they sense that there's a slowdown coming, they do things like cut lines, cut routes, cut flights coming into a particular market. And the chances of those flights and those lines and those routes coming back are oftentimes slim to nil. And when times get tough, airlines will simply furlough or lay off employees, replacing them with the kiosks you see behind me. They will cut seats, and when the economy gets better, they will simply keep things the same way that they were, with a diminished level of service and seats costing more money. And as for Vegas, well, Vegas will do what Vegas always does. Vegas will increase the prices because, as I explained earlier on in the video, for a city that's based on volume, for a city with nearly 150,000 hotel rooms to fill on any given day, they have to make their profits somehow. Because as we reported in an earlier video, the casinos are now just simply paying rent in the land that they once owned. I suggest you go watch that video. I'll put a card up above my head so you guys can go learn about it. And at the end of the day, it doesn't bode well for you coming into Vegas if this government shutdown continues to inch on. A couple of weeks ago, I said that I didn't think that this would have much of an impact, if at all. And that was based on past shutdowns being usually the matter of days, not weeks. Now going into an entire month. Tell me what you think. Give me your comments below. If you guys like this video, you might just subscribe if you're browsing through. Just throw us a like. And if you like my teaching style and it made sense to you, consider our course 1kday.diy. You type in code number 13 at checkout. You get it for a 90% off discount. And once again, my name is Steven. This is NLLV coming to you from Harry Reid International Airport, where I haven't seen a lot of people, but I have seen more things like completely shut down counters out here at the arrivals level, which I never thought I would see. Till the next time we meet, I say 3, 2, 1, click. Are you ready? We say 3, 2, 1, and click!